Ahoy, ahoy. Yeah, more filler content while I'm working on Big Critique. Let's do DOA. I'm not sure if this has got all the DOA characters. It's got most of them, at least. There may have been more new characters added to DOA X3 or Venus Vacation or Project Scarlet or whatever the fuck the current version of that game is called. If they're even the same game, I don't even know. DOA X is like the most complicated part of this franchise. I fucking hate it. So for this one, to make it fair, I'm going to divide the characters into 3 categories. You're going to have core characters, DOA X exclusive characters, and guest characters. So while this character debuted in DOA X3, or whatever she debuted in, I think she's named Misaki, but I'm not quite sure. She is in DOA 6 as an actual fighter, so she counts as a main series character, even if she's not in the story yet, I think. Yeah, I kind of didn't keep track of DOA 6's DLC because fuck off with them prices, Koei Tecmo. What the fuck? God, I think they have like 6 season passes at this point, 100 quid each. Fuck you. So we're going to start with, I think if you saw my waifus tier list video, you can already, all other videos are done on the series, you can probably guess some of the characters are going to go and keep straight away. Of course, there is, if I can find her, best girl, Hitomi. She has to. I'm also rather fond of Elena and Kasumi. I like Ayane when she's not being a bitch, or at least I like her potential because she was way better under Itagaki, but then once he left, she just became a really weak character who, Hayate scolded her and slapped her and she tried to kill herself. No. Well, you have to keep Ryu Hayabusa because he's, the guy. Janli is my main, so of course he's going to stay. I'm also quite fond of Tina. I'm going to start focusing on characters I would get rid of now because, holy shit, I don't want to have too many characters I'm going to keep and then be like, oh no, what do we do now? And some might say this is a bit cheap doing this, but, Raido can go, Genra can go, Kasumi and Hayate's dad, who I don't think was even playable in DOA Dimensions. You can fight him at least, but I don't think he was playable. He might have been, but he's not even appeared outside of that and the DOA 2 Ultimate intro, so fuck him. Get rid of Tengu, of course. We don't need Tengu. I mean, that's what Nyo Tengu exists for. So people who like to play as Tengu can have that, while also having a tall, sexy lady to play as instead. I'm also going to keep Mila, because I'm really fond of her. I'll probably say she's my second waifu in the series. I will now remove Marie Rose, aka Jailbait, as well as Honkers. I just can't stand either one's character. I just can't. I'm also going to get rid of Alpha 152. And again, it's kind of cheating because a big part of this is just take the boss characters and get rid of them. DOA has a serious problem when it comes to the final bosses. We had Raido in the first game, Tengu in the second, Genra in the third, Alpha 152 in the fourth, Alpha 152 in the fifth, Raido in the sixth. If not for Nyo Tengu, I would suspect Tengu would come back, but I almost guarantee that Genra is going to be the final boss of 7. Because we haven't had a new final boss in DOA since Alpha 152 debuted in 2005. Starting to have the Mortal Kombat problem at this point. So I'll put Hayate in keep, get rid of Ain, which is just Hayate with a different moveset. We don't really need that. I mean, he wasn't in 5 vanilla and he's not in 6, and he was like a secret unlockable in 3, but he looked like Itagaki a bit. I'll keep Christy. Do we need Bayman and Leon? That's the thing is, Leon hasn't been around in the story since 3. He was in 2 stories, and his goal was to be the strongest, because his dead girlfriend was like, the man I love is the strongest in the world, and he wants to prove that. And then he just kind of stops without proving it. At least with Genfu, he quit the tournaments because he achieved his goal. He saved his granddaughter, had no reason to compete anymore, so he just retired. And I wish more fighting game characters were allowed to do that. I mean, keep them around as extra characters, just don't make them, don't contrive ways to force them into the narrative. Because I think what they did with Genfu and Elliot here is actually really good. Genfu's achieved his goal, he's not in the tournaments anymore, but it's a good proving ground for his apprentice, even if Elliot never actually proved anything because he keeps getting the shaft. I'll keep Zack because, Zack is alright. He can be annoying at times, but he's fine. I guess Kokoro can stay, she's inoffensive. Brad 1 can get in the sea though. I hate, every game he's in I hate fighting him, I just cannot stand going up against that moveset. And it's also one of those that's difficult to make proper use of because it's so complex. But the AI has no problem just using it to its advantage and just easily decking you. Especially in 4. Oh my god, fighting him in 4 was a nightmare. The only thing that was worse than fighting him in 4 was fighting Alpha 152, and that's because she's presumably broken by design. Fucking Itagaki's like, oh yeah, we made the perfect fighting game with 4, there might not even be a 5. Fuck you. Diego was fine, whereas Nico was kind of dull. I just don't care for Nico, whereas Diego's one of those where I'm not putting him there because I specifically like him, I just think he's alright. He kind of reminds me of Ichiban from Yakuza 7 in a way, so I'm going to keep him. It'd be pointless to keep Leon and Bayman. Bayman has more significance to the narrative, but Leon's barely been in it. So what do? Do you keep Bayman and have him continue his role in the narrative and leave Leon out because, you know, his story's, I guess, done? Or do you bring Leon back and just get rid of Bayman? I guess if I was making just a normal DOA game and I had like a limited roster, I'd probably leave Bayman out and bring in Leon instead, just to see what you can do with him. But I guess if it's going forward, it's better to drop Leon and keep Bayman. I guess Bayman just has more significance to the series. Keep Bass. Oh, Lei Fang. She's right there at the bottom. Because Tillis Maker still doesn't let you reorganise the characters. So this is what we've got left to work with. Since this character hasn't been in the story yet, I'd be fine leaving her out. It's nothing personal, it's just I need to get rid of some characters and she's not done anything. As much as I really enjoy playing as Phase 4, even more than Kasumi, because she's like Kasumi like on speed, literal speed. They really did completely waste the entire concept of Phase 4. I know I did a wasted potential on it, but I can't remember if that was before DOA 6 came out. So I don't know if I ever actually made a comment about how it was handled there, but Phase 4 was like the big new clone of Kasumi after Alpha 152. And then all of a sudden this is a mass-produced thing, and the one we saw in 5, who appeared in the story, just never shows up. Phase 4 is just a mass-produced thing, like Jack 4, and that's the end of it. So they wasted it. While I'd like to see them do more with the idea, I'm also at the point where I'm just sick of Kasumi clones. You know, it's just like a one-off, just like random mirror match thing in DOA 2. And then it became the final boss of 4, okay, fair enough. And they're still doing it in 5. It's like a side thing in 6. Really, it's more of an excuse to get Kasumi involved in the narrative because she's otherwise uninvolved. They bungled it. I keep Lei Fang, iconic character, and I wanted to finally fucking beat Janli. I have a wasted potential planned, talking about how her rivalry has fucking gone nowhere and they need to try something new. This just leaves us with these 5 characters, and I can keep 1 and get rid of 4. I'm fine leaving Rachel and Momiji as just Ninja Gaiden characters. I mean, they're not contributing to the DOA story at all, despite being in 2 games. You know, it's DLC in both cases, or at least in like enhanced version. So I'm fine leaving them 2 out. Actually, did Momiji have story? I think Momiji might have had like a tiny little story thing in DOA 6 as DLC. Either way, leaving her out. So this leaves us with these 3. Now, Nyo Tengu hasn't really contributed to the narrative in any meaningful way, but I do kind of like her. Rig is a character where they set up that he would be important in 5 and then did nothing with him in 6. To the point that you can struggle to remember he's even in the fucking game. And with Lisa, I just don't understand Lisa. You know, she's Zack's secretary in DOA X1, and then she's a luchador in DOA 4, but she has some connection to Doatech. Then Dimensions is like, oh yeah, she's a scientist at Doatech who played a key role in Projects Alpha, Epsilon, and maybe Omega. And I'm just like, so she was involved in the Kasumi cloning stuff, they attempt to brainwash Hayate, maybe the thing about brainwashing Genra, or not brainwashing in Dimension's case. But then she becomes a luchador, and is trying to expose Doatech's corruption, but then she's just working for Doatech's evil successor, Mist, in 5 and 6. I don't even remember what she does in 6. She's such a baffling, unclear character, so I'm leaving her out. Yeah, think about that. She's being left out, while Christy, who hasn't contributed meaningfully to the narrative since 4 revealed that she killed Eleanor's mother, that she had done something prior to DOA 2. That was the last time she was significant, and I'm keeping her over Lisa. Fuck you. I guess, because I like Rig's playstyle, I don't really care for Nyo Tengu's. I'd say she could probably move over to Ninja Gaiden and just be part of that and keep Rig. She's also in Neo 2 in like the last DLC as the final extra boss. So she can show up in Neo as well, because I think they have said that they might be doing a 3rd one. But this is a nice even split, which means that doing the guests will be easier. I don't know why Rio is over here. She was in Dead or Alive Paradise, the PSP version of DOA X2. I don't know why they used the Warriors All-Stars render and not the one from that, but yeah, because she counts in both categories as a guest and a DOA X exclusive character, but at the same time, both categories have enough people to do an even split. For now. And look at the guests. So the guests are Nicole from DOA 4, the first guest. It's a shame that she was in DOA 4, which was prior to Halo 3's release when they started having armor customization. Because that would have been cool for the alternate costumes instead of just 7 different recolors if they'd had different armors. I mean, how cool would it have been if one of the costumes was the Hayabusa armor from Halo 3? You know, the best one. I like CQB as well, that's a good one. Then you have Akira, Sarah, Jackie, and Pai Chan from Virtua Fighter. Could probably do an even split of them. Naotora from Samurai Warriors, and then Kula and Mai from King of Fighters. Mai has a little story thing. It's a story scene where she interacts with Kasumi in DOA 6 in the DLC. It's like the scenes where the Virtua Fighter characters show up in 5 and it's just not explained at all, which is fine. It's better than having them be integral to the narrative like Akuma and Tekken 7. That was a fucking abysmal idea. So, timing on that, right? So just as I was about to start getting onto the guests, ran out of space on my hard drive because the 7K video's taking up a lot of space. So let's try and get through this a bit quicker, yeah? So I'd keep Naotoro because I quite like her moveset. See, I don't care for Virtua Fighter as a thing, or for KOF. So I'm a little biased in terms of these two, because as well as liking the movesets, I also just like the series they're from. Even if we don't talk about either series nearly as much as they should on this channel. I guess I just like Sarah and Jackie more, whereas these other four, I just have no real opinion on them. Except that Kula looks really out of place in DOA. Even though she appears in the same game that introduced Nico, who has bright blue hair, and we also got Honoka with bright pink hair, and with this character, and it's getting all just crazy now. You know, back in the day, like up until I guess up to 5, the only character with like an unnatural hair color would have been Ayane, who's just purple, and arguably Mila, but that, you know, redheads are often portrayed as like full-on red, not orange, a lot of the time in media. So who knows? So now I have looked at all these characters before. I've looked at all of them and seen what the designs are like and learned a bit about them. Most of them are Japanese for some reason. I guess to appeal to the Japanese who hate Tina and Mila and Lisa. Yeah, they're still not in the DOX3. They were left out the base version. They've added almost a dozen new characters since. These iconic characters aren't among them. Fucking losers. Because I don't remember what any of them really look like, I have to kind of base it now on what little I remember plus their faces. So the only girl's got a decent design. This character's got an alright design. I think from what I did see of this character, I probably would have put her in here, but I don't remember what it was, so I'll go with these two, I guess, and get rid of these. And there we have it. This is the Dead or Alive franchise roster, dusted, divided into 3 sections for proper characters, guests, and the DOAX exclusive characters. I should call them DOA exclusives, because that rolls off the tongue, but then DOAX exclusives. Would I change any of these ones? Probably not. I think that's pretty good, actually. The only one I'd probably consider changing would be Phase 4, but just because of a moveset. But considering the fact that, you know, literally a clone, and I'm sick of the clone shit in DOA, it needs to stop, find a new plot to focus on. Yeah, I think that's a decent selection. So that's my roster for DOA. I think this is still a good selection of characters. This is not. I mean, there's some good ones in there, sure, you know. Most of the ones that are good here are ones where it's like, well, they could just carry on in Ninja Gaiden. That's the benefit of doing DOA for this, because, you know, there's a sister series that the characters could return in if we ever get a new one. But that's probably what the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection was about, gauging interest in Ninja Gaiden 4, or prepping for an announcement for Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean, it's still unclear if there's going to be another Neo game. Maybe that's what the Neo... It probably will be, honestly, that the Neo team will make another Ninja Gaiden. Whether it's in the style of the previous games, or if they do like another big overhaul and go in a different direction, or something similar to Neo. I mean, I don't think a lot of people would mind too much if we had a new Ninja Gaiden game that played more like Neo. Obviously, it would have to be faster paced because, you know, Ryu Hayabusa is so fucking fast. But yeah, I reckon that at the very least there will be some clear Neo influence there. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. That's my roster. If you disagree, fuck you. Your opinion is garbage. You don't deserve to have an opportunity to express your opinion. You shouldn't have freedom of speech. And also, if you took any of that seriously, then you're a fucking dumbass. You don't deserve to have an opinion. Fuck you, bitch.